Wanted to share some thoughts with you today that I've been having about progression and personal growth and how it works with ourselves, with others around us, with the gospel especially. Some things that I feel are better illustrated. So most of my thoughts, well, oftentimes, I'm a very visual person. I'll just put it that way. So I view things a lot in diagrams and in pictures and in illustrations. And so sometimes when I'm just talking out my thoughts, it's hard for me to really illustrate what it is I'm thinking. So I wanted to draw some of it out today. So I hope it works for you as well as it's working for me. I'm not an artist, so please, I ask your forgiveness right up front for my poor drawing skills. So bear with me as I go along. But my wife and I were having this conversation today about growth and about our progress, our journey in life as we're gaining new awarenesses, moving along, whatnot. The whole kind of personal development, growth towards celestial living, towards being Christ-like, things like that. So, and it dawned on me as I was pondering this that this is kind of how I view it, that it's a series of levels, right? Pardon me. So maybe we're here. Maybe we've reached this level. As we gain new awarenesses, new skills, we've grown, our hearts change, things like that. So we're climbing along. We've been down here or whatnot, and now we're finally at this level. We've learned a lot and we've gained a lot. Excuse me. Now something happens along the way that I find is very interesting. We get to a point to where we start to look a little bit more outside of ourselves, meaning looking around us to see who else is climbing, who needs help, whatnot. Now, it's okay when we're on the path, when we're doing personal development, if we focus on ourselves. That's okay. That's a normal part of the process. We're growing. We need to just focus on ourselves. We need to learn how to love ourselves, take care of ourselves, setting boundaries, things like that, self-care. That's all really, really good and very important. But something happens as we move along. We get to this place to where we start looking a little bit more outside of ourselves. As we've learned now to love ourselves, we can learn to love our neighbor, right? As Christ tells us. So we start to look at and we start to realize that there's other people on the path as well. They're also trying to climb and move along, and we see them and we go, oh, wow, I see what they're struggling with. I see what they're going through. I have learned something that might be able to help them. I have gained some light, some knowledge that I might be able to share with them that will help them through what they're going through. And it's cool because what is happening also is that the stage that we are currently in, when we're looking at this next level, say right here, to try to get up to that next level, it's too high for us to climb by ourselves. We don't have the capacity in ourselves to make that climb. We need other people to help us. Maybe we've been working on self-development, but now we really need to work on relationship development, or having those Christ-like attributes that turn outward, that humility and charity, things like that. So what happens here at this level, as we start to turn outside and we look back and we see, wow, look at all these people here that are also climbing. I really want to help them, and at the same time, I need them to help me to get to that next level. We need each other. I need them so we can work together. Maybe if I can help them get to where I am, and if I can help them learn the things that I've learned, because God has given me all these great experiences, He's taught me all these lessons, if they've been through trials or whatever it may be, I have learned so much. I want to help them as they're going through what they're going through. And then maybe as we work together now, maybe they can be part of this work, this team, and I'll lift them up to the next level. Maybe I'll boost them up here, and then they can reach down and help pull me back up, so we can work together now as a team to get to this next level. Well, this is where I think this is where the magic happens, okay? So as we're looking at all these levels as they go, and we're going, okay, well, I've got to do this, and maybe I learn this, and as I'm growing, I'll get to this level, and we'll work together, and we'll get here. Well, this is where Christ comes into play. this is the super cool part, and I'm so grateful that he has so much more knowledge and perspective than we do. His ways are not our ways, right? He can see things that we can't see. Because as we are turning around and we are helping everybody else, we are giving back that fundamental principle of the gospel where when we learn, we then turn and give back. When much is given, much is required. And we want to help them too because our heart is now going out to them. We're helping lift them up. They're coming up here where we're at. We're all now working together. And we all get together and we start to lift and to push each other. And this amazing thing happens. We thought we were climbing here. We thought that this is where we were trying to get to. But because we were actually helping each other and growing in humility and growing in charity, Christ steps in and boom, actually puts us here. We actually grow further and go further and grow more than we had originally anticipated. We thought we were going to have to get here to this level and then climb up again to that level, whatever we needed to be. But the cool thing is Christ maximizes our efforts. He takes everything we're doing here, and I apologize, I know this is getting messy, I apologize, but bear with me. It takes everything we're doing here, he jumps in, so this plus him equals, that's a vertical equals, equals this. More. We grow at a rate that is exponential to what we thought we were going to grow. Right? We have now learned more, and as we work together, we're growing to levels that we thought were further out than they actually are. When we looked at it from our worldly, finite perspective, we thought we had all these extra steps that we had to get through before we get to where we are. But that's the beauty of Christ. Christ says, hey, do your best. Just do what you can do. Work together, lift each other, do your best that you can do, and then I will do the rest. And he maximizes what we do. When we thought we were climbing one level, suddenly we're climbing 2 or 3 or 10, even. We don't even know how many levels he's going to take us because he is moving us along. That's a beautiful, wonderful thing. I love this concept so much because as we start to work together, we start to lift each other. Christ maximizes our efforts even more. He's always there with us. Now, mind you, I don't want to make this sound like we did the rest of this journey all by ourselves. That's not true. He's always there with us. But of course, there are things that he needs us to learn on our own. We need to be able to gain those skills on our own, meaning, he's still walking beside us, but we need to learn to do that. And now, once we learn those skills and we start gaining humility and charity and we're working together and we remember that we're all one, his grace, again, is sufficient for us. And we start moving at an accelerated rate, a rate that we didn't even know was possible. And we start seeing these miracles happen and we're jumping to places that we didn't know we could jump to. And that's amazing. And you see it in so many ways, in so many places in the gospel. When we work together and we support each other, you see it in church groups, when we go to church on Sunday and in groups during the week, in support groups, if people are suffering from whatever affliction or addiction that they may be going through, you see this magic happens as we work together and support each other and overcome trials, tribulations, roadblocks that we never thought we'd be able to do. And that is all because of this formula, Christ plus us, right? Christ plus our work and our togetherness is absolutely amazing. So anyway, I just want you to ponder on that today. It's something that I've been pondering on, and it means a lot to me. Just remember that wherever you're at on the path, it's okay. Wherever you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be. And as you're learning and growing and you learn to love yourself more, the desire to help others will come naturally. It's just part of who we are. It's part of our heart. And especially as we get closer to Christ, we become more like him, then we desire things that he desires, which means we desire to help each other. And we look outside ourselves and start lifting and boosting each other. That's just a normal part of the progression. So wherever you're at, just enjoy where you're at. And as we gain more and we get closer to Christ, eventually when we get to these higher levels, we start to have more joy, we start to have more peace. And when those things grow within us, we even have a greater desire to share the joy and the peace with everybody else. And it just gets greater and bigger and greater and bigger and just keeps rolling. And it's a beautiful thing. So thank you for joining me. I know my screen here is messy and it's my thoughts get messy sometimes, but I love this principle. And guess what? I love you all. Thank you.